Yeah, so with my transition to community college, it was a little bit stressful only because of it we were living in a pandemic. But with that being said, everything was online, and I felt like Dianza, they were able to offer a lot of resources and support, especially the professors and faculty. They were always willing to meet with me, especially on the first day, because I was like so confused on how to use Zoom the first day. So thankfully, one of my professors, she was like, "Oh no, don't worry, Marissa. Like we could stay after class and I'll teach you like everything about Zoom really quick." And I'm like, thank you so much because that was so helpful. But with like the transition to college, mostly though, to answer that part of the question, I feel like yes, only because of three different or a couple of reasons. One is living in a pandemic, and then two, not really knowing where to go for help. So living in a pandemic to start off, that was stressful enough, and trying to figure out what I wanted to do because I was undecided at first. I was going to be an econ major, but then I realized that that's not really who I am. So I had to like take a class at first, which was psychology, and I fell in love with it. So thankfully, like that part was a little bit easier to start off with, but just finding resources and such, like I would just stay up all night, literally just going on the Danza website and trying to find different things for myself that would be helpful in my transition process, knowing where to reach out for help, what things will help me, what will benefit me and such. So things like that online. But the second part was what was my second part? My second part was just not no what I was saying. The part where like I didn't know where to ask for help. And I feel like part of that is because I'm a first generation student, and I couldn't really ask my parents for help. They would not really have the answers to anything. They would be like, "Oh, just go online." And yes, you could go online, but then I'll be in a like rabbit hole for hours and hours. But I felt with like not knowing who to ask, I would just go find somebody random, like a random counselor, and they redirected me to somebody else that could answer my questions. And then I just went from there. I feel like when you're able to find that one person that's able to help guide you in something else, then that will open so many different doors and may open more questions for you to ask yourself. And I'm kind of glad that it happened that way, not knowing what to do at first, because maybe if I did know everything at first, I would just be like, okay, let me just go there and bam, I'm done. But instead, I didn't really have people to go to in my family, and that just led me to asking more and more questions and meeting more people at Dianza. And I'm just really grateful for that because now I feel like I've done well at Dianza. So to answer the question, did I answer the question? Okay. Then yes, it was challenging, but I feel like we're able to get the hang of it like along the way.
Do you think like Danza could have done anything better though to help it make it like the transition easier?
What could have Dianza done differently? I feel like maybe Dianza could have had like maybe a certain web page like where it is like I think they do, but I was getting a little bit overwhelmed myself just looking at everything because I would go on web page after web page on the Dianza website, so then it would lead me to different things and I would forget some things. So I feel like maybe Dianza should have like a certain web page, which I feel like they do, but a certain web page of like steps on where to go and like how to handle different things. Like, okay, you're admitted, what do you do next? And then, okay, now I choose my classes, but how do I choose my classes and such? Like maybe like a step by step process of like everything to do right as you get into Dianza. Like I said, like, okay, I'm admitted. Who do I talk to now? What do I do now? Stuff like that, just to have like a more clear view and understanding, because I'm more of a visual learner. I don't do good with just like words, and then I'll be like, okay, great, but I don't know what to do with that. So just like step by steps like that would be super helpful.